Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another Centro Hispano town hall on Facebook Live. This town hall collaboration is between Centro Hispano and our partners at Tower Health. My name is Inabel Ruiz. Thank you for joining us. Today's presentation is on Reading Hospital's Community Connection Project, which seeks to connect Medicare and Medicaid patients to resources available in the community that they might benefit from. This presentation will provide valuable information about the project and how it's implemented to educate the community and increase engagement participation. Now, the first half is going to be conducted in English, and then we're going to transition to Spanish for the last part of the presentation. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, please share so that others may benefit as well. And joining us today, we have Whitney Dixon at Tower Health. She's a program manager for community wellness. We have Nereida Salvador Abreu, Grant Patient Screener, Community Connection Project. And we have Carmen Colon. She's at Berks Encore, and she's the community-based agent to assistant. And now I'm just going to turn it over to Courtney. Welcome, all of you. Thank you for joining us today as we share important information and valuable information for our community. Welcome, Courtney.
Hi, Annabelle. Thank you so much for that great introduction. We're really excited to be here to share valuable information with our community. I see we have the slides coming up on our screen, which is great. If we want to go to the next slide. All right. So the Community Connection Project, our team is often asked questions when we approach patients of Reading Hospital about the Community Connection Project and taking part in it. And sometimes people are hesitant to participate. They're not really sure what it is and how they might benefit from it. So they may not want to engage with our team members. So that's one of the reasons why we wanted to host this event, is to spread the word about the great work that our team does and educate the community so that, they feel much more comfortable when a member of our team approaches them. So just some basics about the Community Connection Project. It's supported by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. It's based out of Reading Hospital, and patients of the hospital are screened for social issues. And a little later on, we'll talk in a more detail about what those social issues are. But they're issues that might affect a person's overall health and wellness. And our ultimate goal is to help our community members access resources that might help them address these issues. And then they would benefit in their personal lives, their overall health and wellness can improve. So it's really focused on our community members and the patients of the hospital and making sure that they have access to resources that they need that can help them live happier, healthier lives. Next slide, please. All right. So this slide talks a little bit about how our Community Connection Project, which is also called the CCP for short, helps members of our community. So since the project started in 2017, we have helped almost a little over 49,000 individuals and families in the Berks County area, which is a pretty significant number. And through the project, we have screened we've completed over 128,000 screenings. So that's a lot of screenings. And what those screenings do is they've helped us connect those individuals and families to resources for food access. We have helped them with landlord-tenant disputes, whether it be evictions or poor living conditions, and their landlords aren't helping them resolve the issue. Also with connecting them with organizations who might be able to assist them with paying rent or utilities. And we've seen a lot of this has increased as a result of COVID, but these are all things that existed even before COVID. And our program, the CCP, is available for people to help them resolve some of these needs. Next slide, please. And just a little bit more about the data from our project. So this slide here shows some of the needs that we've been able to help community members with. So over 7,000 food needs have been addressed by our team, over 5,000 needs related to housing. So that's habitability, whether the housing that they're living in is clean and appropriate, as well as things like affordability. Over 3,000 utility needs. So again, thinking about your water, sewer, electric, and those kinds of utilities. Just under 5,000 transportation needs. So that transportation issue can cause problems with accessing different services if you don't have reliable transportation readily available. And then just under 500 safety needs. And of the needs that we've identified through all of those screenings and all of those individuals and families we've talked to, 65% of those needs have been deemed what we call resolved. So that means that the person who was screened reported back to us and said, yes, this is no longer a need for me. I've been able to access food. I don't need resources anymore. I'm comfortable in the situation that I'm currently in. So that's a great number to see just how much we've been able to help the people who have had these needs identified. Right? Who can participate in the screening? So there are some qualifications for you to participate. So just because you are a patient of the hospital, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll qualify to be screened. So you must live in Berks County. And you also must have Medicare or Medicaid insurance. So these are the two qualifiers for us and our team to be able to identify you as being eligible to be screened. So just a refresher, Medicare insurance is going to be for those age 65 and older or with a qualifying disability. And Medicaid is going to be open to all ages and those in a lower income bracket. Right. Now that we talked about the qualifications, we wanted to talk a little bit about what happens during the process. So the process kicks off with someone coming to Reading Hospital, whether that be an appointment at our Women's Health Center, Family Healthcare Center, Children's Health Center, the emergency department, whether it's a scheduled appointment or an impromptu visit, such as to our emergency department. Not many of those visits are planned. And a patient comes to the hospital and they are identified as being eligible based on living in Berks County and having Medicare or Medicaid insurance. So once a member of our team identifies that patient as being eligible, we'll conduct a social screening with them. And this can be done one of two ways, either in person. So while you are at the hospital, there might be a staff member there from the CCP who might approach you and ask you if you'd be willing to answer a couple of questions, or we might reach out to you via telephone to see if you'd be willing to answer questions. And that telephone call could come before or after a scheduled appointment. You might get the call a week or so in advance, or you might get the call a week or two after you had an appointment. Once that screening is done, we're able to see if there's anything that we can help you with in regard to some of those areas that we talked about: the food, transportation, housing, utilities, and safety. We also do what's called risk stratification. So that will determine whether someone is considered high risk or low risk. And that piece comes after we provide all of our patients with a community referral summary. So what that is it's a piece of paper that will provide you with a list of resources in the community that might help you. And it's very comprehensive. It provides phone numbers, email addresses, hours, the address of an organization who might be able to help you. So it really makes it easy for our patients to be able to connect with different community organizations. And again, then we talk about that risk stratification. So we have two groups, high risk and low risk. So a low risk, one of the questions that we asked during the survey is about the number of visits to the emergency department that someone has had within the past 12 months. And if someone were to self-report 0 or 1 emergency department visits, then they would be considered low risk, and they would receive that summary, that piece of paper with all of the information for resources in the community. And then their case would be considered closed, at least for the time being, until they came back for another appointment and we attempted to re-engage with them. The high risk population would be someone who reported 2 or more emergency department visits within the past year. So that group gets a little extra assistance. They would also get that list of resources, but then they would also qualify for 1 year of a navigation intervention. So navigation intervention or navigation services is what we often called it. You are not, if you are eligible, you're not required to participate. It is completely optional, but if you would like this service, you would be connected with a member of our team who would help you develop a plan to get your needs met and to benefit from some of the resources, connecting you with resources in the community. And that would last for 1 full year after your screening date. And then after that year, we would close your case, or if we were able to re-engage with you after that, we would be able to reopen in your case in the event that your needs weren't completely met. Next slide.
Let me ask you a question. So this is all happening because this is already a question that's being asked. Do these services have to be at Reading Hospital?
So yes, in order to participate in the screening, you would have to have had an appointment or an emergency department visit at Reading Hospital. So it is not just open for any community members at this time. Yes, they would have to have an appointment or emergency department visit at Reading. Great question. Oh, also, thank you, Tanika, for the chat. We do also offer this service through BCHC as well, the Berks Community Health Center. So if you had an appointment there, someone might also approach you during your appointment or call you after your appointment from BCHC.
Excellent. And that's actually, Courtney, really good to know, because I know that many people in the community will access the Berks Community Health Center, people that might need these resources and this information.
Mm-hmm. Great. All right, awesome. So on our next slide here, we go into a little more detail. So just to give everybody a picture of the questions that might be asked of them. Again, on the left side, you see our 5 areas where we will be asking questions. And the person that is connecting with you might ask you, have you run out of food before you had money to buy more in the last couple months? Have you had trouble getting to an appointment or getting to work because of not having reliable transportation? Do you experience unsafe relationships with family or close friends? Or have you received warnings that your water, sewer, electric, or other utilities may be shut off? So that's just a sample of some of the questions that are asked. And again, there's 1 or 2 questions for each of those 5 domains. And we can get a good picture and be able to develop some ideas on the organizations and resources within our community that you might be able to benefit from by answering those questions. Okay. Next slide, please. All right. So previously we talked about navigation services when we talked about the process. So again, these services would be for our patients who are considered high risk. And what occurs during this time is you would work with a community navigator. We have a great team of community navigators who are full-time members of our team. And they, again, create a plan to meet your social needs. They can actually make referrals directly to organizations that have services you might benefit from, which really takes a lot of work and effort off of the patient's plate. We know that they have a lot going on. So, being able to provide this additional step for them helps save them some time and stress about, when am I going to call this organization, or I lost the referral summary that I received. And then they'll also conduct follow-up. So, it's not just a one-time thing. It's, our staff member is there to assist them throughout the entire year. So you might talk to one of our navigators multiple times throughout the year. They'll call to check in to see how things are going. They'll call to give you updates on new programs that you might be eligible for. So, it is a very back and forth conversation and service. It's not just a one-time, here it is, and it's over. Again, that service extends for 1 full year after your initial screening date. And one of the great things about it is it doesn't cost a thing for anybody to participate in our program. There are no fees from the hospital. If you answer the questions and receive the navigation services, you do not pay $1 for that.
Let me ask you something, because this is very important, and I think that this is a valid question that our community is probably thinking about. Do they have to agree to these services, or is this something that's automatic for them?
100% they have to agree. And if something changes, so at any point during the survey, during the navigation services, someone can choose to no longer take part in it. So the screening, we might be asking questions that you're not necessarily comfortable answering. You're not obligated to answer all of those questions. You can say, I don't want to answer that question, and that is not a problem at all. Same thing with navigation services, and going deeper, even the individual referrals that a navigator might make for you. If you've tried to work with an organization in the past and didn't have the greatest experience, you could say, I don't want to be referred to that organization, or I don't want to enroll in navigation services at all. That is completely up to the individual. And, there are certainly no pressure at all from us for anyone to participate in the screening or the navigation piece. We want people who feel comfortable and want that support and additional assistance. And, we would never want someone to feel forced into something that, answering a question or participating if they weren't comfortable.
Okay, and that answers the other question, which was if an individual has to complete the entire year. So then they don't. They can choose what services they access, and also the amount of time that they participate.
Correct. Yep. If someone were to say, yes, this is great, I want to enroll, and 2 months later they change their mind, they just let us know and we will stop contacting them. Okay. All right, great. Next slide, please. All right, so these are some of the organizations that we partner with on the project, and I'm sure you'll see many, many familiar names and logos on this slide. Down towards the middle right, you see Centro Hispano here, who have graciously partnered to host this educational event for our community. And we work with a number of organizations in different realms. Everything you see, Abilities in Motion, who works with community members with disabilities. Barrio Alegria and Centro, again, work with our Hispanic population. The Area Agency on Aging and Berks Encore work with our senior population. You see organizations who work with housing and food access. So there's a lot of diversity in the organizations who we partner with on a daily basis to conduct this work. And we are incredibly grateful for the partnerships that we have with them, because it only helps our patients and our community members when we are working together to address some of these issues versus working individually.
And actually today, joining us, we do have Carmen Colon from Berks Encore, and us also as collaborators will be sharing some of the information and the work that we do in collaboration with this project.
Correct. Yes. Thank you for that, Annabelle. And then before I actually pass it over to Berks Encore, there is a resource that is supported by our local United Way, which many community members are familiar with, and it is called PA211 East. And there's a couple different ways to access the information on 211. And this is really a social resource for anyone to access, no matter your status, income level, your what your need might be. This is a great clearinghouse for information on community organizations. So you can visit the 211 website online at pa211east.org. You can also call 211, very much like 911 is for emergencies, 211 is for social needs, or there is another phone number there, the 855-567-5341 phone number. If you have a cell phone with texting capabilities, you can simply text your zip code to 898-211, and someone will text you back, and they'll be able to ask you some questions and connect you with some resources. There is a link on the pa211east.org website that does provide an email option if you prefer communicating by email. And then you can also check out their social media at PA211 East.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Carmen Colon. Let me read. You sent me a little bit of blurb. You've been working, Carmen, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Information about the collaboration with the Community Connection Project and the collaboration with all of our agencies. You've been working for Berks Encore for the past 6 years. You started part-time and now you're an MOW. So explain to us what the MOW is for. And also, it's, of course, Berks Encore is a community-based aging services assistant. And you can years with resources in the community, which is a lot of what we do as well at the Hispanic Center. So welcome, thank you, and please share some of the information of Berks Encore and how it relates to this connection.
Okay, thank you so much for having Berks Encore be part of your presentation today. It's always a pleasure to be connected with agencies like with the Healthify program through Tower Health, with the Hispanic Center and other agency, mainly because our mission is to develop aging-confident individuals to enhance their ability to live well later in life. Our goal here with Berks Encore is to help seniors remain in their home so they can receive all those resources and all those services that they need so they can remain in the home. It's funny because when people introduce me with this long title, if those that know me, you know that I'm short, and I always say, why this such a long title, community-based agent services assistant. But even though it's a long title, it means a lot. I'm very grateful, very happy to be able to connect seniors, connect those people that are in need with services from different companies, different agencies. So once we receive the referral through the Healthify program, we connect with the senior and we do a screening to see what services are needed. Most of the times we receive referrals, for example, that they need only one service. And after we do the thorough screening, we talk to them, believe it or not, then end up with more than one service. So I'm glad that, and we are happy that Berks Encore is able to help them through that process. It's not easy for most of them, especially when they have certain health issues and they are used to having those receive services through a family member, caregiver, and then all of a sudden they end up being by themselves and they don't know where to go. So our mission is to help individuals so they could learn, so they could know where to get the services. A lot of people, when they hear aging, they think that you have to wait until you're like 70, 80, 60, you know, but it's not like that. One of the taglines that we have is applauding life after 50. I love that. So it doesn't matter what age you are able to gain knowledge of, you know, the services that are out there. For example, I'm just going to go over some of the program and services that we offer. The MOW that you mentioned at the beginning is the Meals on Wheels program. And that's one of the programs that we, Berks Encore, are well known. People hear Meals on Wheels and automatically on the other end, they're thinking about Berks Encore. This is a program for people that are 60 years old and over that are homebound. They have a disability. They cannot prepare the food. They don't have anyone that can help them at home to prepare those meals. They don't have resources. We have an awesome team of volunteers that help us in this matter. We here in Reading alone, we deliver close to 300 meals daily. And this is done also throughout all the centers that we have. So going back to COVID, there was a lot of change. However, our agency, yes, we were closed to the public, but this particular program remained open throughout the whole entire pandemic, and it's still open. We were close to the public, but we were still delivering meals to those people that are homebound, that are in need, that couldn't come out and you know, get their meals. We prepare during all this time, during the pandemic, we prepare emergency boxes, bonus meals that were packed with the help of retiners. We also pack weekend meals. So we made sure that the seniors, they had all the meals that they needed, not only from Monday through Friday, but also for the weekend. Another program that we have is the grocery shopping program. This program is for people that they cannot go to the supermarket to get their items, the grocery items, and or they cannot do like heavy lifting. So we have also another group of volunteers that help us, and they go out to the supermarket and they get all those items for them, and they are delivered directly to the seniors. Another program is the Friendly Visitor call, where especially now with the pandemic, a lot of seniors, they are by themselves at home. They don't have any visitors. So we have volunteers that we call them and talk to them over the phone for now. But when everything goes back to normal, they'll start doing the visits, and they'll talk to them, play games, and keep them company. Like I said, some of them, their family live far away. They don't see anyone. They don't have too many friends. They're by themselves. So this is a great program for them. Besides our main office here in Reading, we do have other community centers throughout Berks County. We have one in Douglasville, which is one of the newest one. We used to be in Birdsboro, so we moved now to Douglasville. We have Fleetwood, Mifflin, Reading, Warnersville, Strausstown. All these centers, they do prepare the Meals on Wheels. They have the meals delivered. For now, because we are open only for a certain to a certain capacity, the meals are grab and go. So you do have to sign up for them. But for those that cannot still come to the center, they receive their meals delivered every single day. Another program that's well known throughout Berks County here that we have is the Medicare counseling. That's a free public program through the Department of Aging, where we offer unbiased advice to the seniors who have Medicare. A lot of people, when they getting ready to go onto Medicare or getting close to 65 years old, they start receiving all this mail. And they start getting confused. They don't know what to do. They don't know when to enroll, when is the exact time. So we do have Medicare, what we call Medicare 101. If you start talking to people about extra help, Medicare savings, Part A, B, C, and D, they get confused. So that's why we came out with this Medicare via Zoom, what we call Medicare 101. So people could register and get all and understand a little bit more about Medicare when they have to enroll. It's very important to know that if you do not do it on time, you could be penalized. And once you are penalized, that will follow you forever. So you want to make sure that you do enroll in Medicare on time. And a lot of people that do mix, they get confused with Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is for people that are turning 65, under 65, if you have a disability that's approved through Social Security Administration. And then you have Medicare, which is a state program, like Courtney mentioned before. It's a health coverage for anyone that is low income. So these, for now, these Zoom presentations, we have them every fourth Monday of the month from 6 to 8. So we encourage people that if they're getting close to their age, close to retirement, and they are confused, because when I first heard of it, trust me, I was confused myself, especially when you have all those letters and then you know, you don't know where to start. You don't know what to do. So give us a call at 610-374-3195, extension 208, and we will be able to schedule you for that Zoom presentation. The other great thing is too, we do have people that they do not have a computer. They don't know, you know, too much about technology. We do have a prize counselors that the senior or the loved ones can meet with the prize counselor in person or even over the phone. During the pandemic, when we were closed, all our counseling was done via phone or Zoom. If you do have Medicare, if the person has Medicare and it's that red, white, and blue card, I encourage you to, on your calendar, to write this date because it's very important for you, which is October 15th through December 7th. That is a very important date for you to have because it's the time for you to review your current health insurance plan, prescription plan, to make sure that for the next year, you're still on the right path. The choice that you make now or that you have and you do not check to see if you are able to save or not for the future, unfortunately, you'll need to stay with that plan for the next following year. So if you're content and you're happy.
Can you repeat those? Can you repeat that date, that window again?
That window, yes. It's the annual open enrollment and it's from October 15th to December 7th. Yes, and that's every year. And people that can call us, schedule an appointment, the prize counselor is able to provide them with all the information. This past year, even though we were going through the situation with the pandemic, we were able to help over 1,055 people with Medicare. And there was a huge saving for all of them of over $445,000 altogether. So it's a great opportunity for people to call us then. Not necessary you have to wait until October. If you have any question and an issue before then, please give us a call. All our trainers are trained and certified. they do not sell or they do not endorse any health insurance. So like I said at the beginning, it's a total unbiased advice that they provide. The next program is the health and wellness education, where people are able to meet with others. We do provide them over via Zoom at the centers as well, where people get to learn how to manage the diabetes, balance, chronic pain, fall preventions. Also, we have legal services. We receive lots and lots of call this past year of people wanting to get wills and powers of attorneys done. We do have attorneys with the Berks County Bar Association that they come here and provide pro bono services. So if anyone is interested in having a power of attorney or simple will, they can give us a call, and we will schedule the appointment with the attorney here in our office. If you would like to know everything that's going on with Berks Encore, about the events, activities held at all the centers, like the Zumba class, bingo classes, the activities held, the educational sessions held, I encourage you to sign up for the Berks Encore newsletter. This is a monthly newsletter that we provide here, where you get all the information about what's happening now, and what's going to happen within the next couple of months with Berks Encore. We do have them at all our centers, but if people can actually subscribe to this newsletter and receive it directly at home. So again, if you're interested, please feel free to give us a call. Summer.
To add, Carmen, that once this Facebook Live town hall is over, this is being recorded and this will be placed on our social media pages. So this will also be included.
Okay, great. Thank you. Another program that we have is the Senior Farmers Market program. This is another big one for us, and especially for the community, for those that are 60 years old and over, turning 60 by the end of this month. Starting June 1st, people can start inquiring about the checks. They get 4 checks if they qualify. They can receive 4 checks of $6 each to buy fresh fruits and vegetables that are grown in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, nope, no mangoes, no pineapples, so only fruits and vegetables that are grown in Pennsylvania. And if you want to know if you qualify or not, give us a call. And this again will be at all of our centers. Berks County Area Agency on Aging informed us recently about their cooling program. This is a program with the air conditioners. So if you're a senior, you're at home, and some people don't even have a fan. And especially with this weather now coming out with those high 90s and plus, you need something to keep yourself cool. And unfortunately, a lot of them, they don't have this luxury, and they need it. If people are 60 years old and over, and they have a medical condition like bronchitis, emphysema, any breathing medical condition, they can call Berks County Area Agency on Aging at 610-478-6500, or they can call us. We do have the applications here as well. We'll help them fill it out, and we'll send it to Area Agency on Aging. They're the one that process it. And just to let you know, you do need a doctor's script to confirm that you do have a medical condition. We also help people with housing.
Then for that particular program, there are requirements.
Yes, yes, they are. Yes, for that one. We do help people complete housing application. We give them those subsidized housing lists. We do not process applications here, but we do help. We have many, many people that have come here and needed assistance completing the applications. We help them with that. We help also with the rent rebate. For the property tax rent rebate, people have until June 30th to complete the application. This is a rebate that depending how much you earn and how much rent or how much pay taxes you had in 2020, you could receive anywhere between $250 and $650. To qualify for that program, you need to be 65 or over, 50 and over if you are a widow, 18 and over if you are disabled and receiving Social Security SSI. The good thing is that if they receive Social Security SSI, only half of that income is considered. Everything else is considered in full. Now, if you rent, you cannot go beyond 15,000 a year, and if you own, the maximum allowed is 35,000. I left towards the end our baby. I say our baby because it's our newest program that we have, and it's Berks Encore Plus. And this one, it's a new program that's fee-based care management service that was launched recently back in August of 2020, where an aging life care manager works with family caregivers and older adults to create a roadmap to age in place, connecting them with community services. In the next slide, what we'll see will be in reference to volunteers. The volunteers are our heart. Without the volunteers, the majority of these programs would not be possible. Like it says on the top, the volunteers are our our lifeblood. We have volunteers here that we see them every single day, and we see them Monday through Friday. Some of them, they're here every morning, every other morning. They help us in all the programs that I mentioned before, and in other areas as well. If anyone is interested in becoming a volunteer, this is based on your time, your day, your hours that you're free, that you would like to volunteer. I have to say we have a awesome team of volunteers that help us every single day in all these different areas, and we are very grateful for them. If you would like to become a volunteer, give us a call. Again, 610-374-3195, and we will connect you with the volunteer coordinator, and looking forward to seeing anyone else help with the Meals on Wheels, grocery shopping, administrative assistants that help us here with the mail-in, data entry, events like the one that is coming pretty soon, which is the Senior Expo. And this year is going to be over at Reading, Philly. So feel free to give us a call or stop by at one of our community centers. Thank you so much for having us here.
Thank you, Carmen. I was actually looking for, I saw a question pop up. Thank you for sharing all this information. It's certainly a lot. Thank you for everything that Berks Encore does for our senior population. It is a lot, and a lot of people do not know. The community probably doesn't know that the MOW, the Meals on Wheels program that you deliver the meals for, actually it's Centro Hispano that prepares
exactly
over to Berks Encore to be delivered, and it's certainly an honor for us to be able to provide food to those who might not be able to get out of the house and who might be suffering alone. So thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, now we have Rick Olmos joining us, and he's going to talk about Centro Hispano and our services and the collaboration with Tower Health.
Excellent. Thank you for having us on. This is one of our many number of town halls that we've done over the years, over this, especially during the COVID time. As you can see, our mission, we're leading with passion and purpose. We are here to support and enhance the acculturation of the Latino population in Greater Reading. Centro Hispano has been around for over 54 years, and I'm just going to do a quick overview of the programs that we do, specifically the ones that, especially the ones that are part of Healthify, because that's why we're here, to show the different things that we do on Healthify. And so the biggest one is our information referral and advocacy program. We do quite a bit of work with anybody who comes to our door. Even though our name is Centro Hispano, we help anyone that comes to our door. We try to help, if they're coming in for anything as small as helping fill out a money order, to helping with unemployment, Social Security, SSI. We do, let's see, of all things, rent rebate, rental assistance, UGI, electrical. If they're going to get their power shut off, their water shut off, we help them figure out ways to get that done. We help for homelessness. We help food insecurity. We're a wraparound service organization. Inivel is actually our supervisor down on the first floor. So when we move on, if there's any questions, she'll be able to handle the questions more than I can. Our Mama Angie's Casa de Amistad is our senior center. It's actually one of the largest senior centers in the state. We, before COVID shut down, we had over 200 seniors daily coming to our doors for meals, for programs, for assistance, for bingo, dominoes, exercise, you name it, we did it. Since COVID, with the shutdown, because of a mandated shutdown, we are still providing meals for those seniors in a grab and go portion. We have 60 of those seniors coming grab and go every day. We also deliver meals not only to the seniors that couldn't come in, but to many of the seniors from the Reading Housing Authority. And like Inivel mentioned, we also cook the meals for Meals on Wheels, and we provide the meals over to Burke's Encore, who are great to deliver those meals as well. So we appreciate that. A great opportunity for us to work together on a daily basis. Since COVID, the numbers have gone from 200, 350 on a daily basis with them. We're also provide meals for dinner service with the Olivet Boys and Girls Club. And we've been providing meals with the Berks County Intervention Unit for Head Start, pre-K, early intervention, and childcare. So all in all, we've been providing 1,800 meals daily, 7 days a week here in Centro Hispano's kitchen area. So we've been really busy. Abriendo Puertas, the Opening Doors Project, is a peer-to-peer training program that we work with young families who get to learn that they are their children's first teacher. And so it's a great program that we've been doing since COVID. We've been doing it virtually via Zoom. So this is a great program that just shows that we don't stop even if our doors shut down. We are a collaboration with Safe Berks for Stop Domestic Violence Initiative. So we have people that come to our doors because they trust Centro Hispano. Even though Safe Berks is right there a few blocks away, they feel more comfortable coming to us. And we are bicultural, bilingual. All of our staff are bicultural, bilingual. So we are prepared to help in any of the needs necessary. As I mentioned before, our at-risk snack and dinner program with the Olivet Boys and Girls Club. We can go anywhere from 200 a day meal to 700 a day meals, depending on what their needs are. And we're always prepared to change as needed. We do have medical interpretation programs. So anybody 60 years and older can contact us, and we will go with them to their doctor's appointment, their medical appointment, to help translate for the medical staff. And this is a big assistance because many times people will bring their child to translate for them, and the child doesn't understand medical terminology, so they're only translating with the understanding of the words that they know. So we have trained medical interpreters that will go to these appointments and assist with the translation and assist with asking the questions that the patients want to hear or clients want to hear. Like I said earlier, my meals program, Meals on Wheels, Meals for BCIU, Meals for the Reading Housing Authority. We have a higher education initiative. We've been providing for the last 10 years, I believe, we've been providing scholarships for, depending on the amount of money we have, for students that are mainly Latino first generation college attendees. And this year we're trying to shoot even for more this year because of COVID, but we had over 50 applications this year. And Inivel was one of, as you can see her, she's shaking her head, that she was one of the people that had to read all 50 applications.
All 55 applications.
So we are definitely still, even with our doors officially closed, we've stayed busy. We've kept providing service for all the clients via telephone, via social media, via WhatsApp, via email. Even though they couldn't come in, they were able to get to us. And in fact, services have increased. And like Carmen said earlier, they might come in for one thing, but they stay on the phone for 5 things, because that's what they find out. With Healthify, we've had the same situation where people will talk to a navigator and say they have one problem, such as food insecurity. When we contact them, we find out it's not just food insecurity, but it's rental assistance, the rent rebate, power being cut off, homelessness. All those come up, and we're glad to be part of helping with that. This past year, we were really big on voter registration and the census. As you can see the photo of our staff, even though we were wearing masks, we made sure, and we contacted every number we had to make sure people registered for the census, make sure they registered to vote, and because every person's voice counts, and we made sure that came out. Through COVID shutdown, like I said, Centro Hispano never shut down. Our doors were closed, but our staff was always available. In fact, sometimes our staff worked longer hours, worked during the weekends, because they knew that's what the clients needed. And finally, our vaccination program. When we found out that the vaccines were getting to some of the community, but not to the community that we serve, we decided to step up and start hosting vaccination clinics ourselves with Reading Hospital. Reading Hospital was happy to work with us, and we worked also with Olivet Boys and Girls Club to make sure that we put shots in over 7,000 arms, that vaccinations we have provided since that we've been giving out vaccinations. And they continue even to this day. We're still working with the Olivet to now provide vaccinations for the youth, now that that's available for 12 and above. So we continue to do those clinics. And it's thanks to the pharmacies in the area and to Reading Hospital. If without them and without our staff working and calling, because many places have registration by computer, and we know that's not what our community likes. So we picked up the phone and made 6,000 calls. We made those calls over and over again until we made sure they were getting that shot in that arm.
And I think that just to give a scope of the magnitude of everything that was done, besides the meal preparation, we received and made over 18,000 phone calls during the period of March of last year to the end of the year, 2020. So it was just a huge influx of phone calls, and doing everything telephonically and digitally online. Most of what we did online was assisting people with rental assistance. Not that we have the funding for it, but connecting a lot of our community with rental assistance programs, or filling out those applications, a lot of filing for unemployment and benefits and biweekly claims, and a lot of Compass applications, filing for food stamps and medical assistance for any individual or families in the community that for one reason or another found themselves in crisis during the pandemic.
And do we have any questions that have come up?
I'm looking to see. I have questions about the Community Connection Project and Healthify. This would be for Courtney. Courtney, how do you communicate with all the organizations that are partnered, the ones that you described earlier today? How do you communicate with these organizations so that they're also a part of the program?
Sure. So that's a great question, Annabelle. And the way that we do that is through a web-based platform called Healthify. And what that does is it allows us one resource to be able to essentially chat back and forth with these organizations that we partner with, rather than, if someone needs assistance from Centro Hispano, sending you an email, and if they need assistance from Berks Encore, making a telephone call. So it streamlines the process for us and allows us to really easily and quickly communicate with organizations. One thing that I do want to share is, when we are communicating with those organizations, there is no medical information that is shared. We are not violating HIPAA. We are not, anything with medical diagnoses or anything like that. That information is not being shared with the community organizations. Only the information that the patient provides to us is being shared about the specific need that they're talking about. So it may be along the lines of when they're available for Centro Hispano to call them, things like that. But we would never share any medical information. And again, that communication only happens if the patient says it's okay for it to happen, if they provide consent. We will never share any information with an organization that they do not approve.
And thank you for the clarification, because I'm pretty sure that myself as a client or a consumer or a patient would be a little concerned with my information getting out into the community and somebody that I might know. So thank you for the clarification that that information is confidential. I have another question. What if the client only speaks Spanish? Do community organizations have Spanish-speaking staff? I can say at Centro Hispano, and I'm sure at Berks Encore, we have Spanish-speaking staff. Do you have, and I know that some of the other organizations also have Spanish-speaking staff. What is your response to that question?
Yep, another great question. And yes, our team is well stocked with bilingual staff. We have multiple members of both our screening and navigation team who are bilingual, able to well versed in Spanish. So that isn't a barrier to access and to participation in this service. And as you mentioned, many of the community organizations that we partner with also have bilingual staff. So, that's something that we find to be very important. And, as we have communications and we continue to grow our network of the organizations that we work with, that's definitely something that we look for, because we know that is a need within our community to be able to efficiently communicate with other organizations.
Another question, and I think this one's really important, is are there any costs to these services for the client?
For the CCP and the Community Connection Project, no. Not a penny is needed to participate in the screening or the navigation services. It is completely free of charge to any Reading Hospital and BCHC patients who would be approached to take part and are eligible for taking part. I would not want to speak to some of the programs offered by some of our partner organizations, as there could potentially be a nominal fee for enrolling in some of the different programs that are offered. But as for the CCP itself, no, there is no fee.
Okay. What about if somebody's already completed a screening, but the needs have changed? What can that individual do, client, consumer?
Sure. Yeah, that's another good question. So if a patient who completed a screening is in navigation services, so they were considered high risk and is in that 1-year window of navigation services, they can simply call their navigator and chat with them, have a conversation with them about how their needs have changed. And that's a great way to do that. And our navigators are certainly open and available to speak to our patients who are enrolled in that service anytime. So, there shouldn't be any hesitation in calling or emailing the navigator who has been assigned to work with you. If you're not in navigation services, anytime that you come to the hospital for an appointment or have an appointment at BCHC, you would be able to complete a screening. So you can complete multiple screenings. It's not a once and done thing. So if you have recurring appointments, you at your appointment last week, you might not have had any needs and you answered all the questions that, you were all set. And 2 weeks from now, those things change and you have a follow-up appointment a week later, you can be offered that screening again and be able to share those needs that have changed and what's going on in your life currently, so that we might be able to further assist you. And as another resource, we always like to share that 211 is available at any time, 24/7, 365. Anyone can visit the website or send a text to 211. And be able to get information and get connected to resources that might be able to help them.
Okay. What about, and this is the last question that I have, is what if it was a child that was screened? Does that mean that the family becomes then eligible for these services, or is it just the individual child?
Sure, yes. So we do conduct many screenings at, say, our Children's Health Center, where the patient is under 18. So, yes, the entire family would then be eligible if there was a food need, and we identify that and we were able to connect you to Centro Hispano or Helping Harvest or New Journey. The entire family would be able to receive that food package and the resources that are available to them. So it is not just limited to the patient who is screened when it comes to the services. And I think that kind of leads to another question. If we're talking about a 1-year-old, they're not going to be able to answer these questions. So, a parent or a guardian often answers the questions on behalf of a patient, a younger patient. And, if we're thinking about maybe a senior who, they might have a caretaker who is, speaks on their behalf. As long as we get consent from that patient that someone else can speak on their behalf, then that person can complete the screening for them. And again, if it is a family member who is completing that screening, then anyone within that household would be able to benefit from the resources.
Okay. That's the final question that I have as we transition now to the Spanish portion of this presentation. I want to thank you, Courtney. And also, the truth is that we value this collaboration because we know that collectively, all of us working together will have an impact on our community. And we know that we have a large community of individuals who really need additional support. So thank you for this collaboration and joining us today and explaining the project, the program, and we look forward to a continued partnership. And we hope that in the future, those 49,000 individuals that we've helped is going to become triple or quadrupled.
Yep, definitely. And thank you so much for having us, Inabel and Rick, and thank you, Carmen, from Berks Encore. We love being able to take advantage of these types of opportunities to spread the word about the great work that the hospital is doing and the organizations within our community are doing. It's really important that we have these connections, and we're grateful for them. And we hope that the participants on today's call learned a little bit about it. And now if you are approached by someone during your appointment, or you get a call from the Community Connection Project, that you might be a little more open to participating.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, now all of this information will be provided because this is being recorded and we're going to post it on our social media pages. And we will include all the information, contact information for the programs and the agencies. And now we'll transition into the Spanish portion of this program. Bienvenidos y buenas tardes a esta comunidad que nos está viendo en otro town hall directo en Facebook Live del Centro Hispano en colaboración con Town Hall, Reading Hospital Tower Health. Esta conversación de hoy se basa en la conexión el proyecto de la conexión de la comunidad, y estamos aquí con individuos y representantes de diferentes organizaciones del Hospital de Terra Health. Tengo a Nereida y tengo también a Carmen Colón, representante de Birth Software. Vamos a hablar un poquito acerca del proyecto y cómo este proyecto puede beneficiar a personas en nuestra comunidad y a familias de nuestra comunidad. Esta información es sumamente invaluable porque es para educar a nuestra comunidad y verdaderamente lo que queremos es aumentar que las personas participen en este programa. Ahora vamos a hablar en español, así es que Nereida, te voy a dar la oportunidad a ti para que presentes el programa Community Connection Project, así es que te la entrego a ti ahora.
Gracias, Annabel. ¿Me pueden escuchar bien?
Sí.
Ok. So, ¿qué es el proyecto de bienestar de la comunidad? Es un proyecto que es apoyado por el Centro de Medicare y Medicaid. Es una encuesta que se le hace a los pacientes para detectar problemas sociales que podrían afectar su salud y su bienestar en general. Nuestro objetivo es ayudar a los miembros de la comunidad a acceder a recursos que puedan ser beneficiosos para ellos. El próximo slide, por favor. Desde el 2017 hemos ayudado a 49,025 personas o familias. Y también le hemos hecho la encuesta a 28,415 familias o personas. Por ejemplo, nosotros ayudamos a personas que necesitan ayuda con asistencia de renta. Lo podemos conectar con organizaciones que lo pueden ayudar. Si necesitan ayuda con comida, le hacemos gracias. Le hacemos un referido a las organizaciones que lo pueden ayudar. Hemos ayudado a 7,224 personas que han estado necesitadas con alimentos, 5,216 personas que han necesitado ayudas con vivienda, 3,608 personas o familias que han necesitado ayudas con utilidades como el gas, la electricidad, el agua, la luz. Todo eso nosotros lo hemos podido ayudar. 4,968 personas las hemos ayudado con transporte para llegar a sus citas médicas. Si necesitan buscar alguna caja de comida, lo hemos ayudado. Y 427 personas o familias que hemos ayudado con necesidad, que han tenido necesidades de seguridad. 65 de esas necesidades, 65% de las necesidades han sido resueltas. Eso significa que los pacientes sí nos han dicho, a mí me han ayudado, yo fui ayudada por un navegador por X tiempo y sí mi necesidad ha sido resuelta. ¿Quién puede participar? Puede participar cualquier persona que viva en el condado de Berks y que tenga seguro Medicare o Medicaid. Medicare para mayores de 65 años o una discapacidad y Medicaid para todas las edades bajos ingresos. Y solamente necesita vivir en el condado de Berks County y que tenga el seguro médico del gobierno, como nosotros le decimos.
O sea, solamente Medicaid, Nereida, el Medicaid y el Medicare.
Sí,
uno de esos dos. Okay.
Sí, uno de esos dos. Sí. ¿Qué sucede durante el proceso? El paciente tiene que tener una cita médica para poder participar en el proyecto. Por ejemplo, hay personas que vienen al Women's Health Center, van al Children's Health, que van a la emergencia, o hasta el Berks.
El Community Health Center, Berks Community
Health Center, sí, gracias. Una persona se le acerca y le dice que se le puede hacer unas cuantas preguntas. Esas preguntas son sobre casa, comida, transportación, utilidades y seguridad. Si el paciente dice que sí, que le gustaría responder las preguntas y sale con alguna necesidad, nosotros les proveemos con un papel de alguna agencia que lo pueda ayudar a resolver esa necesidad. Si el paciente es identificado como alto riesgo, eso simplemente significa que la persona ha estado en la sala de emergencia 2 o más veces en los últimos 12 meses. A esa persona se le da un poquito más de ayuda, se le da servicio de navegación por 1 año, o hasta que su necesidad ha sido resuelta. Y también se le da el papel de organizaciones que la puedan ayudar dependiendo de su necesidad. Ok, la próxima, por favor, gracias. Ok, y como ya le dije, que ayudamos con comida, vivienda, utilidades, transportes y seguridad. Estas son preguntas que hacemos, como si se ha quedado sin comida en los últimos 12 meses, si le preocupa que no tenga comida, si ha tenido transportación para llegar a alguna cita médica, si le han mandado alguna nota de que le van a cortar el agua, la luz, la electricidad, el gas, o si hay algún abuso entre familias o familiares cercanos de las personas. Okay, los servicios de navegación. Los servicios de navegación es una persona le da seguimiento, como ya dije antes, por 12 meses. Es totalmente gratis y es un servicio por 1 año. No significa que la persona tenga que llamarlo todos los meses, o si usted ya en 3 meses su necesidad ha sido resuelta, simplemente se comunica con el navegador y le dice ya, no necesito que me llamen, simplemente lo llaman a los 6 meses, solamente para ver si están bien, si alguna necesidad ha aparecido entre ese tiempo, y después, si todavía están bien, lo llaman otra vez al año, y eso. Si no quiere seguir, puede decir en cualquier momento, ya no quiero seguir. Eso va con las preguntas iniciales y también va con las preguntas que el navegador le hace cada vez que lo llama. El navegador le puede hacer referido directamente a las organizaciones que lo pueden ayudar. Por ejemplo, con el Centro Hispano, que le dicen, oh, mira, esta persona necesita ayuda con comida. El Centro Hispano se contacta de una vez con el paciente y ellos ya lo pueden ayudar.
Veo, Nereida, veo que, y una de las preguntas que se había hecho era si este programa era con costos o era libre de costo.
Es totalmente gratis. Nosotros, desde que se le hace la pregunta al paciente hasta que se termina el caso después de 1 año, es totalmente gratis. Pero eso es solamente con el proyecto. Ahora, si hay alguna agencia que pide que paguen algo, si hay alguna agencia que pide que paguen algo, quizá algún fee por llenarle algún papel o por pintarle algún papel, ya eso no está en nosotros, ya eso viene siendo caso de la agencia. Estas son organizaciones que están asociadas con el hospital. Está Barta, que ayuda con la transportación. Está Safe Berks, que ayuda con seguridad. El Centro Hispano, que ayuda con todo, literalmente. Berks Encore, que también tiene sus programas que nos ayudan muchísimo. Está New Journey, que ayuda con comida también, entre otros. Okay. Y nosotros estamos muy agradecidos con las organizaciones que nos pueden ayudar, porque se le hace más fácil a nosotros como al paciente, porque ellos se pueden contactar con los pacientes y decirle, por ejemplo, para la comida está Help and Harvest, nosotros le podemos mandar un referido y ellos se comunican con el paciente y le dicen el día, hora y dirección de dónde pueden ir a buscar una caja de comida, o sea, una funda de comida, y se le facilita mucho a las personas.
O sea que el referido va dependiendo la necesidad de la persona a una de las organizaciones que tiene el potencial de servir a esa necesidad, ¿correcto?
Sí, correcto, correcto. Y para cada necesidad está cada organización. Okay. El próximo slide. Okay. También tenemos, le damos a los pacientes el sitio web de PA211 East. Es una sitio web que tiene muchísimos recursos, muchísimas organizaciones que también lo pueden ayudar. Lo pueden buscar en línea como pa211east.org. Y ahí le sale toda la información. Si necesita, le va a salir como un cuadrito y dice que sea para comida, transportación, y simplemente le da a la necesidad que tenga el paciente. Y ahí le da todas las organizaciones donde lo pueden ayudar. También está el número de teléfono que lo pueden llamar. Está el texto, pueden testear su código postal y ahí ellos se comunican con el paciente. Correo electrónico, o lo pueden seguir en las redes sociales como PA211 East. Y muchas gracias, Annabelle. ¿Alguna pregunta que tengas para mí?
Bueno, esta es información sumamente importante acerca del proyecto de la conexión con la comunidad y la colaboración que nosotros tenemos, claro, con todas estas agencias y especialmente con el Hospital Tower Health para apoyar a esas personas que quizás están o en alto riesgo, ¿verdad? En una necesidad o bajo riesgo en una necesidad. Así que muchas gracias, Nereida, por compartir esta información con nosotros. Sí tengo algunas preguntitas. Si la persona solamente habla español, ¿hay una manera que ustedes se comunican entonces en español para que los clientes se sientan, quizás esa comunidad que no habla inglés o que tenga, ¿verdad?, esas barreras del idioma, que puedan comunicarse igual que ustedes?
Sí, yo personalmente, como ya saben, ya yo hablo español, hablo inglés. Nosotros sí tenemos personas que hablan español, al igual que organizaciones que tienen personas que hablan español. En caso de que haya quizá una persona que en español, vamos a decir que no esté disponible, se puede usar el servicio del hospital de traducir. So, como quiera, se le busca la ayuda a la persona. Por el idioma no se limita a nadie. Siempre se le busca la forma de ayudar a la persona.
Y eso es sumamente importante con muchos de nuestros clientes.
Sí.
Si una persona ya hizo la evaluación, el screening, y las necesidades han cambiado, no necesariamente tienen esa necesidad, sino que es otra que sea diferente, ¿qué tienen que hacer?
Si la persona está en navegación, si ya está en ese periodo de 12 meses y ya tiene un contacto, una persona que le da seguimiento por esos 12 meses, simplemente tiene que llamar a esa persona y decirle, oh, mira, ya no tengo el problema de la transportación, pero ahora tengo problema de comida. ¿Me puedes ayudar? Y ellos felizmente le pueden ayudar. Y es totalmente gratis, no tiene que responder las preguntas que hacen desde el principio otra vez, simplemente ellos trabajan con la necesidad que está ahora nueva.
Y el programa, el proyecto, yo sé que ustedes hacen el screening o la evaluación, la persona puede decidir si quiere el soporte, la ayuda, o puede decir no, gracias, no estoy interesado.
Sí, hay personas que, por ejemplo, con asistencia de renta, que nosotros le queremos hacer un referido a algún lugar y nos dice, no, mira, ya yo tuve asistencia con esa agencia, no puedo tener asistencia con esa agencia por los próximos 2 años o el próximo mes, o ya estoy recibiendo ayuda con esa agencia, me puede comunicar con otra totalmente. No es, obviamente, dependiendo la necesidad, y las diferentes agencias y organizaciones que
la persona puede decir, o sea, el cliente es el que decide si quiere participar o no.
sí.
Eso
Y se le pregunta si está bien que nosotros le mandemos un referido a la organización. Y si nos dan permiso, claro, y nosotros verificamos el número de teléfono y la dirección cuando se le va a mandar una carta, y también cuando se va a mandar un referido para asegurarnos que sea a la persona, que la organización llame a la persona correcta, y que le preguntamos que a qué tiempo o si tiene una hora específica que lo pueden llamar. No compartimos información médica. En ningún momento compartimos información médica. Simplemente se da, por ejemplo, esta persona necesita ayuda con comida. Se le da el número de teléfono y la mejor hora que le pueden contactar. Eso es todo lo que nosotros compartimos en esta plataforma.
Así es que la persona puede estar tranquila de que la información médica no es compartida.
Correcto. Sí.
Y la última preguntita que tengo para ti es, si es un niño al que han evaluado, ¿eso significa que la familia completa recibe el servicio?
Sí. Ya cuando es con un niño, nosotros trabajamos con la madre, porque hay niños de diferentes edades y no, al ellos ser menores, no podemos hablar con ellos. La madre es con la madre que hablamos, ya sea la madre o el padre o el guardian legal. Y siempre, si es con una persona ya mayor, también, si tienen que tiene que decir que sí, que podemos hablar con las personas que le esté ayudando en el hogar, o si no pueden escucharnos muy bien, nosotros si nos dan permiso para hablar con otra persona, podemos hablar con esa persona. Pero si es con un niño, sí, la familia completa recibe los servicios.
Ok, eso es sumamente importante para que nuestra comunidad sepa.
Sí, y con la pregunta, disculpa,
sí,
con la pregunta que me hiciste ahorita de si la necesidad cambia, en caso de que ellos no estén en navegación, si esa persona simplemente tiene otra cita, por ejemplo, una persona tuvo una cita en el Women's Health Center o en la emergencia y nosotros lo vimos hoy. Si para la semana que viene la necesidad cambia, en cualquier lugar que esa persona vaya en el hospital de West Reading, nosotros nos podemos comunicar o una semana antes de su cita o una semana después o cuando ya vaya a la cita médica. Sea por teléfono, puede ser por teléfono, como puede ser en persona.
Ok, muchísimas gracias, Nerida, por unirte a esta conversación. Ahora le voy a ceder a Carmen Colón de Berks para que nos explique su labor brevemente y todos los servicios proveídos por Berks para nuestra comunidad.
Muchísimas gracias, Elizabeth. Es un placer estar aquí para poder compartir con todos ustedes los programas y servicios que Berks le ofrece a las personas de aquí del condado de Berks. Nos sentimos sumamente complacidos de poder trabajar en conjunto con Tower Health, con el Centro Hispano, todos unidos poder ayudar a las personas que necesitan esa ayuda, que necesitan esos programas, servicios para poder mantenerse en su hogar. Berks Encore, me encanta el tag de nosotros que dice aplaudiendo la vida después de los 50. No necesariamente la persona tiene que esperar a tener 60, 70, 80 años para poder comenzar a aprender de los servicios y programas que están ahí afuera para ellos. Muchas veces cuando nosotros recibimos los referidos de parte de Tower Health, como había dicho en la otra sesión, nos refieren los casos a nosotros, por ejemplo, que la persona necesita comida en su casa, en su hogar. Pero una vez que nosotros comenzamos a hablar con la persona, comenzamos a hacer el escrutinio, terminamos refiriéndolo, por ejemplo, a 3, 4, hasta 5 diferentes programas. se benefician de otros programas de parte con nosotros, pero también nosotros los referimos a ellos a otras agencias si nosotros no podemos ofrecerle ese servicio. La misión de Berks Encore pues es desarrollar personas con confianza en el envejecimiento para mejorar su capacidad de vivir bien más adelante en la vida. Nuestro número de teléfono es el 610-374-3195. Para tener más información acerca de todos los programas que nosotros ofrecemos, información más detallada, pueden ir a nuestra página de web a www.berksencore.org. La información la va a encontrar tanto en inglés como en español. Tenemos diferente personal en nuestra agencia que hablamos, como ya ven, en español y también en inglés. Así por encimita le voy a mencionar algunos de los programas que nosotros ofrecemos. Uno que somos bien conocidos, que es el programa de comida a domicilio, Meals on Wheels o comida sobre ruedas. Nosotros tenemos el placer, la oportunidad de recibir las comidas ya hechas a través del Centro Hispano. Recibimos otros alimentos a través de otras supermercados, otras entidades para poder ayudar a las personas en este programa. Para la persona cualificada para este programa, tiene que tener 60 años más, tener una discapacidad que no lo deje cocinar, que la persona no pueda cocinar, no tenga ningún familiar, alguien que le ayude a poder a hacer su comida. Si usted tiene alguna enfermedad que, por ejemplo, que está en silla de ruedas, se le hace demasiado difícil cocinar, padece de cierta condición médica que pierde balance o otras cosas así, tal vez se beneficiaría de este programa. Casi siempre muchas personas se han referido a nosotros para este programa Meals on Wheels o comida a domicilio, y le conectamos con otros programas que les vamos a mencionar. Algo que quería recalcar con este programa, aquí solamente en el condado, en Reading, aquí en Reading, nosotros diariamente hacemos entrega a más de 300 comidas. Estas comidas no solamente se entregan aquí en Reading, también se entregan a través de nuestros otros centros que tenemos aquí en el condado de Berks, que están en Douglasville, Mifflin, Wennesville, Strausstown y también aquí en Reading. Durante la pandemia nosotros estuvimos cerrado al público porque nuestras oficinas se mantuvieron abiertas. Tuvimos la oportunidad de poder hacer entregas de comida a las personas, no solamente para que pudieran comer de lunes a viernes, pero se hicieron ciertos empaques especiales para que ellos pudieran tener su comida también los sábados y domingos. Otro de los programas es programa de asistencia a la compra de comestibles, donde las personas pueden ir, un voluntario va por la persona que no puede ir al supermercado a hacerle compra de su comida y se la lleva a la casa. Esto especialmente para las personas que no pueden hacer fuerza o caminar mucho, viven por ejemplo en un segundo piso y no puede hacer mucho levantamiento, pues este programa ellos se beneficiarían. Tenemos por ejemplo otro de los programas muy importantes es de consejería de Medicare o el Medicare Counseling. Este es para las personas que ya se están acercando a los 65 años, están acercándose a esa etapa de retiro y empiezan ya, como muchas personas saben, ya como a los 3 meses antes o hasta 6 meses antes, ya comienzan a estar recibiendo un sinnúmero de cartas de información de diferentes seguros. La gente obviamente comienzan a confundirse porque empiezan a escuchar que si la parte B, que si la parte C, que si tiene que enlistarse a cierto tiempo, pues la persona se puede confundir. Y para esto nosotros tenemos lo que llamamos una clase de Medicare 1-en-1. Y quiero dejarles saber que la estamos haciendo en inglés ahora, pero sí tenemos la oportunidad para hacerla en español y proveerle la información a todo el mundo para que así sepan cuándo tienen que enlistarse, porque eso es muy importante, porque hay ciertas penalidades que las personas pueden incurrir si no lo hacen a tiempo. Quiero mencionarle a las personas que ya tienen Medicare, que es la tarjeta roja, blanca y azul, que tienen de octubre 15 a diciembre 7 para hacer cualquier cambio que quieran para revisar su seguro médico para el año siguiente, y esto se hace todos los años. Tenemos entrenadores de consejeros de Medicare que no vendemos seguro. La información es individual. Aquí no se le, también es todo hecho confidencialmente. So, si la persona no puede venir al centro, lo podemos ayudar a través del teléfono, lo podemos hacer a través de Zoom. So, hay diferentes formas que nosotros podemos educar a las personas con relación a Medicare. También tenemos educación sobre salud y bienestar. Tenemos servicios legales, donde las personas, lamentablemente con esto de la epidemia, tuvimos muchísimas llamadas porque las personas están interesadas en hacer apoderados y hacer testamentos simples. So, estos servicios todos son gratuitos. Las personas no tienen que pagar. Si las personas están interesadas en qué es lo que pasó, qué es lo que va a pasar, qué es lo que está sucediendo con Berks Anchor, qué es lo que está pasando en los centros comunitarios, por ejemplo, los juegos de bingo, que si los ejercicios de zumba, que si las actividades sociales y educativas, un sitio aparte de, por supuesto, la página de web. Otro sitio donde las personas pueden enterarse y le puede llegar esta información a su casa es a través de Berks Encore News. Si usted está interesado en saber cómo se pueden suscribir, den una llamada al 610-374-3195 y nosotros les podemos decir cómo puede recibir este periódico. El verano, frutas, vegetales, el programa de nutrición de mercado y agricultores para personas mayores está diseñado para las personas de 60 años o más, en donde pueden recibir 4 cheques de $6 cada uno para comprar frutas y vegetales. Lamentablemente, los mangos no caen ahí. ¿Sabes? Solamente frutas y vegetales que son cosechados aquí en Pensilvania. Den una llamada, puedes recibir los cheques también en los diferentes centros comunitarios. Si nos llaman, nosotros les podemos decir cuáles son los requisitos y dónde y cómo puede hacer. Ahora que están llegando los días más fríos, los días más calientes, es que el próximo tema o el próximo programa es el de aire acondicionado. Entonces, si la persona tiene 60 años o más, puede hacer uso de este programa, especialmente si tiene una condición respiratoria, como bronquitis, efisema. Es a través de Berks County Area Agency on Aging y el número de ellos es el 610-478-6500. Nosotros también tenemos la aplicación si ustedes están interesados. Lo dejé por último, pero no quiere decir que es en menos. Lo que sucede es que es nuestro, como digo yo, nuestro bebé de Berks Encore, porque ese es un programa nuevo que tenemos, que es Berks Encore Care. Usted no tiene por qué pasar por la necesidad solo. Puede ser muy estresante, pero con este programa, que es un servicio nuevo de administración de cuidado, este sí es basado en tarifa, pues fue lanzado en agosto de 2020. Un gerente de cuidado de vida para personas mayores pues trabaja con los familiares y también con la persona mayor, con los adultos mayores, y crean un plan para que pueda recibir todos los servicios que necesita en su hogar. Lo conectamos con esos recursos en la comunidad. La próxima, the next slide, tenemos ahí, gracias, es los voluntarios. Sinceramente, todos estos programas que nosotros tenemos, que yo les mencioné, y algunos que ustedes pueden ver ahora, sinceramente no fueran posibles sin las ayudas de los voluntarios. Como les dije con el programa de comida a domicilio, solamente aquí en Reading tenemos más de 300 entregas de comida a domicilio. La mayoría de esas entregas y empacar, porque nosotros las recibimos a través de Centro Hispano, pero aquí en el centro es donde se empaca. Tenemos voluntarios que están aquí ya desde las 7:30, 7 y algo de la mañana, ya listos para comenzar a empacar la comida para que vengan otros voluntarios y comience a distribuirlo. Y eso no es solamente aquí, este servicio también se ofrece en todos los otros centros comunitarios. So, diariamente estamos hablando de alrededor de 700 comidas que se distribuyen. Tenemos eventos también en que las personas nos pueden ayudar. Un gran evento que ya se está acercando y pueden llamarnos al 610-374-3195 o buscar nuestra página de web berksanchor.org o en nuestro periódico los eventos que están próximos a acontecer. Por ejemplo, es donde anualmente hemos tenido la oportunidad de recibir cerca de 3,000 personas en este evento y tenemos un sinnúmero de voluntarios que nos ayudan hasta dirigir y decirle a las personas hacia dónde tienen que ir, cómo a dirigir el tráfico. Nos ayudan muchísimo en toda esta área. Si usted está interesado en ser voluntario, denos una llamada. Hay voluntarios aquí que sinceramente los vemos todos los días. Están aquí de lunes a viernes, toda la mañana y siempre están con esa sonrisa dispuestos a dar más, a seguir ayudando. Y eso es lo más importante, que eso usted lo haga de corazón, que lo haga para ayudar al prójimo, ayudar a esa persona que está necesitada. Y de eso nosotros estamos sumamente agradecidos en poder tener un número grande de voluntarios. Te doy las gracias, Inaver. Le doy las gracias a Tower Health por tenernos y ser parte. El propósito de Berks Anchor es poder ayudar a las personas para que se mantengan en su casa, conectarlos a esos recursos, a esas necesidades que tiene, ayudarlo en su hogar. Gracias.
Muchísimas gracias a ustedes también, Carmen, por esta colaboración y a todas estas agencias que participan. Nosotros en el Centro Hispano, ahora y por interés del tiempo, que nos queda muy poco tiempo, voy a hablar rápidamente acerca de los programas del Centro Hispano para concluir con nuestra presentación de hoy, pero toda esa información va a aparecer, este video lo estamos grabando y lo vamos a poner en nuestras redes sociales para las personas que puedan verlo más adelante. Los programas del Centro Hispano, nosotros hemos estado en la comunidad más de 54 años, así es que nuestra comunidad nos respeta y saben que nosotros estamos presentes con mucha ayuda y apoyo. Tenemos el programa de información y referido, donde yo soy la directora de servicios humanos, y básicamente en este último año hemos ayudado muchísimas personas en nuestra comunidad a solicitar beneficios, aunque nuestras puertas han permanecido cerradas. Hemos estado proveyendo nuestros servicios por el teléfono, por el internet, por email, por nuestras redes sociales, y continuamos ayudando a las personas a solicitar beneficios y conectándolos con otras agencias, como también al igual con el programa de Healthify, la conexión de la comunidad. Y continuamos haciendo eso, lo hemos estado haciendo y hemos estado hasta más ocupados que antes. Tenemos nuestro Mami Angie Casa de la Amistad en nuestro centro de envejecientes y quizás es uno de los más grandes en el estado de Pensilvania, y en colaboración con Berks Anchor en el centro se preparan las comidas que se llevan a Berks Anchor para el programa de Meals on Wheels o la comida en ruedas o comida a domicilio. Además de eso, nosotros tenemos el programa de Abriendo Puertas, lo estamos haciendo virtual en estos momentos, no presencial, pero hemos tenido mucho éxito con este programa y es un programa para padres, para conectarlos y hacerlos hablar con ellos y conectarlos con servicios de la comunidad, al igual que ellos vean su rol como padre y también como líder en la comunidad y en la escuela para sus hijos. Tenemos el programa de iniciativa para detener la violencia doméstica, el Stop Project, es en colaboración con Safe Perks, así es que cualquier persona que está sufriendo o experimentando una situación de violencia doméstica o de un abuso sexual, por favor, pueden comunicarse con nosotros y así se sienten más seguros y nosotros les conectaremos con la agencia apropiada de Safe Perks. Tenemos el programa de alimentación y cena. Hemos estado preparando comidas para los seniors, también para el Berks County Intermediate Unit, para los niños. Así es que hemos estado verdaderamente sumamente ocupados preparando muchísimas. Me parece que son 1,600, 1,800 comidas diarias que se están distribuyendo en todo el condado de Berks. Tenemos nuestro programa de interpretación médica. El programa es para los envejecientes de 60 años en adelante, para que un intérprete vaya a la cita y pueda, para cualquier persona que esté envejeciente, que no pueda comunicarse con el médico, pueden hacerlo mediante un intérprete y así la conversación y la comunicación es más efectiva y no tan solo el cliente, sino que el médico, los dos, saben exactamente qué es lo que está pasando con la necesidad de esa persona, de ese adulto en esos momentos. Tenemos el programa de la iniciativa de educación superior. Este año ha sido uno de los más grandes, donde hemos visto como 55 solicitudes de la beca del Centro Hispano, que es una beca que nosotros diseminamos anual. Hay unos fondos ahí para estudiantes que predominantemente ya sean quizás el primero en la familia que vayan a la universidad o que quizás tengan, ¿verdad?, antecedentes hispanos, latinos. Tenemos este último año pasado, verdaderamente nos enfocamos también en llenar, asistir a las personas a llenar el censo, también asistir a las personas a entender el derecho al voto, registrarse para el voto. Estuvimos sumamente ocupados también con las iniciativas de COVID, ayudando a las personas a buscar información de dónde buscar el examen de COVID, cuáles eran las necesidades basadas en la crisis del COVID. Y además, cuando surgió la vacuna que ya estaba disponible, tuvimos talleres de vacunación para nuestra comunidad para asegurarnos de que nuestra población también tuviera acceso a la vacuna. Y sé que he sido rápida. Toda esta información verdaderamente se encuentra en nuestras redes sociales y para más información siempre se pueden comunicar con nosotros al 610-685-1265. Así es que para todos los participantes en el día de hoy, muchísimas gracias por conectarse. Para las personas que nos están viendo en Facebook Live, por favor, para más información, llámenos, conéctenos con nosotros. Esta información ha sido grabada y va a ser hecha disponible en nuestras redes sociales para que las puedan ver y las puedan compartir con personas que ustedes entiendan que tienen alguna necesidad de nuestra comunidad. Y como siempre, cuídense muchísimo, todavía no, el COVID está ahí. Si pueden vacunarse, por favor llámenos para que nosotros le podamos proveer más información acerca de dónde con quién se pueden conectar para la vacuna y para cualquier otra información que ustedes necesiten en nuestra comunidad, llámenos, conéctese con nosotros y nosotros, aunque estamos cerrados ahora, ya para el 1 de junio vamos a estar abriendo nuestras puertas por cita solamente. Así es que esperamos su llamada. Dejen un breve mensaje con su nombre, su número de teléfono y les regresaremos la llamada lo más pronto que nos sea posible. Un beso, un abrazo fuerte, cuídense mucho y será hasta la próxima. Chao, chao.